Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fireside Cast. I'm here back in the booth with Bong Gripper. It's been a long time. We're reunited here with some main div gameplay, bringing you MEELO versus Glorious. I think it's going to be a bare knuckle boxing match tonight. I'm pretty excited to see what we've got in store today. I don't know how you're feeling about it. Why don't you tell us how you're feeling about this video game that's about to come up.
Yeah, so I mean, this is really interesting. We haven't got to catch a lot of the matches that have gone on this season. What I know specifically about MEELO is they were extremely dominant early on in the season. They almost had a perfect record, and then I think around week 6 or so, they had a bit of a slump. But regardless, their consistency up until that point kind of made them an assured pick into playoffs here. So I'm really excited to see what they have up in store for all of us, just in terms of like gameplay and all of that. I know they had the firepower that got past a lot of the favorites going into this main season. So I know that they have a lot going on for them. On the other hand, though, Glorious, it's got a lot of players of it feels weird to say this, but players who have already won main on other classes that are back in main, whatever circumstance that is, that are trying to do it on a different class and really establish themselves as the dominant players in this division. So, like you said, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a fist fight here, but it really remains to be seen between these two teams of who's really going to come out on top, just in terms of raw DM and also playing that goes into it.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that Glorious has a couple people who've already won main is their team initially was an IM. Glorious was an IM team, but they ended up moving up, which is why their first week, both of their matches are 5-5 on the site. So they're not actually they're not a main born team here. They actually they climbed their way up, and they've been faring pretty well. I mean, I know a good portion of these people. I know Johnny. I've played with him before. Very, very good player. So, I mean, you have like Moose on here as well. Like, all these people are very good, very strong players. Like you said, some of them have already won main. So I think that's kind of why there's so many there's so many familiar faces on this team. I think that's really the only reason why there's so many people that we all may recognize.
Yeah, and I think that can't be understated just in terms of experience as well. I know that the funny thing is that I know a little bit of the interpersonal stuff with a lot of these main rosters and stuff, and I know that Moose specifically has been a voice in some other main rosters, just in terms of demo review, coaching, and stuff like that, for the 6 main callers team, and also for the Clear Comms Please team as well. They kind of look to this guy to be the voice of reason when they're doing their demo reviews and stuff like that. So I know that he is kind of considered the brain player in amongst this team. And also Tiny just kind of popping off as of recent, and also just showing a lot of consistency. Yeah, she's just done so much in terms of improving in just raw DM mechanics, skills in general. I know her scout's been doing really good in playing on off-classing and stuff like that. So personally, I'm a little bit more favored towards the Glorious roster here, more just off of personal bias than anything, but you really can't discount MEELO when it comes to their raw just performance this entire div, right? I mean, they had such a good record going into the later parts of the season, so I'm really excited to see what they have for us tonight. But we are starting off here on Snakewater, so it's going to be really interesting to see what obviously the mids are going to look like. We are, in our cast, have talked a lot about what Snakewater mids are like. There's kind of this rock paper scissors that goes on, right? Of who bombs first. Are you counter bombing? Are you being the aggressor on the bombs? Are you baiting your med really hard? It's a lot of these big decisions that go into the rounds leading up to them. that actually matter the most compared to just the on-the-fly decision making. So I'm really curious to see what the adaptations are going to be throughout round to round. And then on top of that as well, we talk about it a ton as well. It's just these Snakewater lasts and how you just break open this last and really get into it. I would love to see some sort of solid concrete plans, which you would hope to see up in the main division, of people just really taking a solid plan into breaking down that last sentry gun, breaking down through one doorway and just busting yourself in through that left side, or making some sort of concrete plan to actually like get into these lasts and convert some rounds off of these pushes. Because I've seen so many times again and again where people come in with 40-50% Uber ad onto Snakewater Last and they're just not able to convert anything, just out of how far you have to travel to actually get, cap time or anything similar. So yeah, just very, very interested to see what the approaches are going into this map.
Absolutely, and I do believe the players have been given the rep signal. They're already repping, so I'm gonna run down the Glorious roster really quick. Your scouts are going to be Minaj and Jello Jiggler. Your roamer is going to be Cormy. Your pocket soldier is going to be Shine. Your demo is going to be Moose, and your medic is going to be Tiny.
And on MEELO, we have Flank Scout Kibe, Pocket Scout Gyra, Roamer Soldier is going to be Stranger, Pocket Soldier is going to be One, Demo going to be Kira, and Medic is going to be the Ringer Idare. But we are now on the first mid now. Demo's sort of feeling each other out early. No extremely early bombs on the 37. Mind that actually. Cormy bombing in extremely early, going to be landing in the Saw area. Not going to find anything. Late's going to bomb in extremely early as well. And actually going to get cleaned up. But they do get Idare and all of that as well, and Cormy's still living behind as well. It's going to be Tiny, going to be living completely behind on second, chilling with the Pocket Scout and Moose as well. So they're going to lose mid but keep their mid alive, which, I don't know, weigh that as you will. That's still going to be a big plus right now for the side of Glorious. They have their medic alive, and they have so much advantage to work with, even with losing that midpoint to that extremely early bomb.
Yeah. I do think that Glorious had a strong beginning to that mid, but unfortunately there was just no follow-up on those soldier bombs. And fortunately for them, they were able to find Idare there. So it's not all doom and gloom for them. They are able to just kind of walk back into mid, and it looks like that's exactly what they want to do. They're not trying to use the Super at any point. They don't want to use it unless they absolutely have to, and they're going to be taking every single nanometer of space they can get. And as we say that, Cormy is coming in with the high bomb on back here, getting a lot of space. Just landing on that fence there. Crucial positioning as Shine is able to find that pick on Akibe. Looks like Cormy going to be playing through lower here. The beam rotating to right shutter from Red's perspective here. Looks like Uber ad has been lost. So there is...
Speak up either. Idare's going to drop the amazing bomb in from late through the left side. Going to get that drop down. Stuff Glorious is going to cover right now, just try not to get dropped themselves and keep Tiny alive, but that is such a major way to actually break your way into the Snakewater lots. And what an insane bomb to do so. Might just be a little bit of early game nerves, right? But now, Tiny Moose going to be walking into the lower area, looking to use. They're not going to choose to use the lower. They're walking up to this right side, going to shove the soldier off of the drop-down area. The gun is being built on right, but they're going to look for that immediately, and the gun is going to go down. So now with this full Urad, what are they going to get? Not really any picks, but a ton of cap time. So much cap time.
There's so much halftime coming out of that. It was like they were just able to stand on it uncontested. Looks like MEELO was just waiting for their Pudas to come up, and fortunately for them, that gamble paid off. Doesn't look like Glorious is going to be able to convert that round, at least just yet, as now it is Tiny getting bombed by Kira. Kira's not really able to land any effective damage, though, so Tiny's going to be able to waddle away scot-free and survive. It is still full Uber ad for the side of MEELO, so it's not like it changed anything too drastically. They are still going to have to play as if they didn't have a beam. They are still going to have to play, as if it was a salvage kind of, as it was salvage o'clock right now. So hopefully we'll get to see a drop come out if you're a Glorious fan. But it doesn't look like that. Very early use coming out from Idares. They walk forward. They're not even going to be able to pick anything up. Very close to finding Shine, though, I must admit. Very unfortunate that MEELO wasn't able to find that. Could have opened up a pretty big window, giving him a lot of opportunity to take some space on second. But looks like Glorious looking to take this full Uber ad now into MEELO, possibly through Catwalk.
Yeah, possibly. I was just trying to do something quickly, right? I mean, you have this ad, and you don't want to really let it settle down into this sort of flip-flop scenario where you're just leapfrogging these Ubers back and forth. Counterpoint, though, is Minaj on the sniper trying to work something himself while they do have this Uber ad, but Cormy going down, Stranger going down. Not super major picks, but still going to be something to account for when you're trying to take this mid back. But now, sort of back to this leapfrog scenario, but not using the Uber in is a very key point there. So now, Glorious, they have the midpoint. It's even Ubers. It's all going to be up to the Sacks, or probably working the sniper right now. We have Minaj up in the window area, looking for anything that he can find, but there's not really a head to click on here, as everybody else from the side of MEELO is just sort of standing by this logs bridge sort of area, not really trying to give him an easy shot. So Sniper's probably going to have to readjust, and without any, without both scouts on, you're not really going to expect to see a soldier bomb or anything. So this is going to slow down here just a tiny bit. As people are feeling each other up. Moose taking a little bit of a pipe in window area. Gonna have to back up from himself. But Minaj going for some sort of a hero shot, just pursuing out super wide. You saw. Not gonna find anything, but Late actually bombing in super deep. Looking for the pick on Idare. Is not gonna get the second rocket off to attempt for the air shot. Now that's 2 picks down for the side of Glorious. So MEELO has all of the space in the world to work their way back in for either just a dry push and trying not to use this Uber, or trying to sack in and get this force onto Tiny.
Absolutely. It looks like that's going to be one trying to get through, getting a lot of space forward for his team. No Ubers have been used yet, but the health is looking really, really bad on the side of MEELO, as one is very low. Let's finally get filled up, but it looks like Glorious is going to be able to get a lot of damage, and Cormy getting in behind them, managing to force Idare here just based off that fear. So much damage came out off the back of that Cormy bomb. So much space came in, it just allowed those players to walk forward. And they just bullied Idare basically into hitting the right click button. So not the situation you want to be in if you are MEELO right now, as you're now sitting on full Uber disad and potentially facing a 3 walk into last. Stranger is up on sniper, so maybe we'll see a legendary shot come out from the side of MEELO, but it does look like Cormy getting in deep again, forcing Stranger away, and now Glorious has second for free. Not a single drop of blood had to be spent to get that point. So they're going to be looking to push in very quickly. Ubers do equalize here, as Stickies have been destroyed, as Moose is running Quickie Bomb Launcher. Uber does finally get popped here about the same time, roughly even.
They get the heavy so early.
Yeah, getting that heavy very early on. You have 2 picks for this last push. Very important, as Glorious now finds a third. Finally, Jello going down here. Maybe MEELO able to turn this around as they finally start getting onto that cap again. It's 1 pick away. Glorious is able to find the round conversion, as MEELO just doesn't have the players to stack on top of that point.
Yeah, and just such better focus as well on that last Uber exchange as well. They were able to find 2 picks so early and just sort of slow down that fight to a halt, right? And then slowly work their way back in, try to make the point. And when you're trying to edge the point and they're down 2 players, there's way less people that you have to expect to stop on that point, and they're just able to push that initiative on early. Now back on this mid now is going to be Moose on the Quickie Bombs. Kira coming out a little bit later. Really early bomb again in from Cormy is going to get focused down, but the scout botting across is going to find Idare. That's so major as well. They have the double bomb in, but the scout still living behind as well right now currently is going to find Idare just from all that space being made and everybody looking at this player. I saw looking back for Cormy just moving into the saw area, and that just leaves such a window open for the scout to just bot across the entire mid and find that medic. So now kind of a similar situation to what we saw on the first mid, where they lose the mid, right, but they keep their medic alive. So if they're able to do what they did before and just take this mid cleanly without any sort of contention or picks being taken in their favor, it's just going to feel amazing for them.
Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing a repeat of what we saw during the last mid, maybe a little bit slower on the refight from the side of Glorious here. Is I think they're trying to figure out what they want to do. They don't want to have a repeat of what they did last mid, bar for bar, if you will. Looks like Stranger does try and go in, but he does take himself down, and Tiny, I mean, just doesn't fear, doesn't use at all, decides to tank 2 rockets, taking down to 50 health there. Definitely could have been taken down, but trusted his teammates, trusted their teammates rather. And it does look like Cormy getting in behind. Does get taken down by Kibe. Is spotted very, very early on and just gets melted. One gets traded out for him though, so it isn't too terrible. Soldier for soldier could make things work out here, but looks like Cormy and Minaj are making things work, making magic happen down in yard.
And that's a second point attained for pretty much free as well. I mean, you lost it. Well, you lost maybe one pick, but just purely out DMing and taking so much space is going to mean that. Oh my God, Moose! Holy shit! What a crazy quickie bomb launcher! Just drop out of the medic, just lands on his forehead, sinks those stickies down, and is able to get that drop down. So now Tiny's going to be flashing Minaj and both of the soldiers as well on the point, and they're just going to be looking for every single pick that they can get, and they get everything and more. It's only going to be the medic up by the time that they are capturing this point. So that is the second round now for the side of Glorious, and that is so early in terms of Snakewater mids, right? I mean, we usually don't expect to see this many rounds this early on, right? A lot more stalemates, a lot more guns being built, but just really pressing their advantage and taking this map in a quick fashion is going to be Glorious.
Yeah, they're already up 2 here, and this is something I think we haven't seen also is, you know, Snakewater mids being taken. Oh my God, I don't even know what I want to talk about here. I don't know if I want to talk about Kira getting absolutely smacked around in this mid like a volleyball by Moose hitting these perfect stickies or what, but it does look like a lot of damage is coming out from the side of MEELO as they get that nice bomb and the nice follow-up from Kibe. They find 2, but it does look like Glorious going to be backing out here as they are down 3 players. Tiny does live. IDare also living though, so it is even Ubers. Nothing too special will probably come out of this. It doesn't look like MEELO really has the window to send anything in, but it looks like they're just gonna double. They're just gonna double up here. Their whole combo gonna be pushing forward as they almost find the pick onto Minaj and almost find a pick on a Tiny as well. Jello is taken down by Gyare here.
Yeah, a little overzealous from Jello there. I think the major thing that mid there was the fact that IDare did not die from that double bomb, right? I mean, it was the 2 soldiers bombing in. It looked pretty coordinated at the start. Cormy got immediately focused down on the saw. They kind of know what the plan is from Cormy on these mids, is trying to jump back into the saw and land it on the medic's head, and or just get behind and be a forward mid, but still able to deal with that. Means that now IDare is still alive here on the second. They're looking for some picks as well, losing 2 on this sort of sack attempt right now, going to be Kibe and Stranger, but nothing really to come of that. Means that now it's kind of up to Glorious to figure out what they want to do here on this last. They have the gun up, so I imagine they're just going to try to settle in here on the Snakewater last. Nothing too aggressive coming out of them. I mean, they are 2 rounds up, so you really don't have to be too overzealous here, especially with how difficult and scary it is to push out of Snakewater last. So probably just going to be settling into some sort of a stalemate here. Gun built up to level 2 on the ground. Dispenser being built for the medic, getting nice and cozy here on this comfy little last.
eBay is up on the sniper, is walking up the bridge here. Does look like Minaj is going to be taking that SVS sometime soon, potentially. I don't think they see each other, though, so neither really knows the other exists. Well, they definitely do now, as Kibe is just firing wildly into the abyss, hoping to land a 50 damage body shot. Now peeking up the far right side, trying to find any kind of window. He knows there's a soldier here. Does find the corner for me. Now is going to peek out very wide, potentially, before they can actually find angle out, though. They over to the left side. Now it's just up to Glorious here to play hard defense. I mean, you've lost a soldier, so realistically, MEELO can do whatever they want here. They can walk in, they can take as much space as they like, as looks like Stranger tries to do that for his team, but does get, you know, a little baited. Does look like Kibe gonna get taken down by Shine here as well. Oh, and Minaj coming down.
Cormy wants to go instantly. Cormy's coming through instantly on this cheese side. Is going to get a direct rocket off onto IDare. Going to take him down to 7 HP. Not actually living himself as well. So that's very, very major. And it's going to be the rest of MEELO forced out of second. So unless there's some sort of major reaggression here, it's going to be, you know, Glorious taking the second point, but they are forced out. IDare does die and is dropped, actually. I'm not sure from what. I was not specifically looking, but that's major right now. You know, it was really, really scary when you get forced on your second point, right? You're hoping for this to get the second point without any sort of forces or contention, right? But the fact that the aggression from the side of Glorious is able to get that drop down onto IDare means that now it is free real estate for the rest of Glorious to make their way onto mid with this Uber ad and completely flip the table. on this Snakewater last hold, so now they're in a very comfy spot to push into second here with this ad. They do have Minaj on Sniper though, so I think that's going to be a major point here, but these snipers are just going back and forth, getting kill after kill, and it's going to be Gyra going down, and Minaj working his way into second right now. Still, we have Kibe on Sniper on last, to really try and take this fight, and Kibe is going to get the body shot onto Cormy from the forward spawn, going to be back spawning now, but tiny little bit of Uber ad to play with if you are on the side of Glorious, so we might see them take this early. They do have to get this point cap. They're still worrying about this forward spawn right now, so it's probably going to end up evening out right now, but amazing turn of events for the side of Glorious, able to work their way on to second, and now breathing down the necks of MEELO, who is already down 2 rounds on the Snakewater.
Yeah, I think that was a really good play from Kibe. All things considered, drawing every person from Glorious back to look at that forward spawn, giving your teammates just enough time to squeeze out that even Uber. But I don't think Glorious really cares, as Minaj is trying to shutter and find the pick onto Stranger. Not gonna find it, thankfully for the MEELO fans. The last hold is still alive, but the stickies are deleted by Moose as he's trying to peek out. And Minaj finds Kira, no demo. Basically on the last hold at this point, but they do have the level 3 in the banning spot. Doesn't look like the Ubers have been used. It doesn't look like either team is really postured to use an Uber at this point. Well, now that I say that, Tiny starting to walk forward.
Cormy going massive on the right side as well. Is going to get a pick early and going to force out the Uber extremely early. It's going to be Tiny sort of just chilling right here with this Uber, choosing to back all the way up into the saw area right now. So they lost tubes. They were able to force a lot of initiative there and get that Uber out while killing that gun. So it's going to be Kibe getting the gun back up as the rest of Glorious are trying to figure out what their plan is now, right? I mean, they had this full Uber ad, done it twice now, where they've really converted this Uber ad into something massive. So trying to figure out something now. They spot the gun on the left. Moose is actually get that down extremely early. That's kind of major. And unless my client is bugging out, I'm seeing a bit of a pause right now.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a pause, which
yeah, it's a bit of a tack right now. We are going to switch to Discord, so excuse us for one moment. We'll be right back with you while this pause does happen.
Why there's so many hidden channels.
Yo, we are still good to go here. On this pause, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of already decided in terms of who is really going to be tack pausing here. MEELO has just had this force to them over and over and over again with just this initiative and the willingness to really push off of any little tiny advantage. You could tell that this is definitely Moose sort of orchestrating this team here. They are so quick with their decision making and with taking these Ubers as well. Now going back to live right now, it's going to be the Uber used out. Bombing through Moose early, going to kill down that level 1 sentry, so not a real major threat to try to kill down, but still, they have all the space to work with. They get the cap time down. It's going to be late dying really early, and they're going to have to focus on this heavy. Otherwise, this is going to be a really scuffed last push. They are able to kill the scout on point. Cormy going to be focused down by the heavy, but so many people collapsing on point. It's going to be Minaj dueling super hard on such low HP right now. Is actually not going to get cleaned up by the demo man. He's going to jump on. Oh, he jumps into a sticky though. That was such an amazing clip from him if he did not jump onto that sticky at the last moment there. So now just Tiny running for their little life. It won't actually get escorted out though.
Scare off Idare. They hit him with an arrow and Idare just ran.
It's crazy.
I don't know how Tiny keeps getting out of these situations. These are like surefire, like this guy should be dead. They should be Gibbs on the floor in a million pieces with the Uber particles flashing around their beam. But yeah, somehow, some way, they find life finds a way. Corby does find the pick onto one, and Moose finds the pick onto Kira as well. Oh my god, Minaj finds the pick onto Idare, drops their beam. 3 players down on the side of MEELO. This is a well-written, glorious win here as Gyra tries to bomb in, but it doesn't matter. Stranger gets taken down as well. And it's just brutal. That was
just keeps happening, Zach. I don't know what to say, right? I mean, Idare, I understand that he's the ringer right now, but dying so many times. It's just giving Glorious all of the room to work with right now. And even on these mids as well. I mean, last mid was the only time that he lived, and it was on such tight margins. So looking at this mid now, we would have to hope that this attack, they really did get some shit figured out. But I don't know. It's looking really scary. It's going to be Stranger, Kibe bombing and Rick really early. They are going to find a lot of picks early on. Going to be finding Moose, but down 3 themselves just for that one demo pick, as the rest of the Glorious roster is just going to be able to absorb all that pressure. Tiny taking 0 damage on that mid now. It's going to be working with the Pocket Scout, making their way onto second already even before that mid is capped, and now the second is in their control as well. So, you know, build ad wise, it's going to be a little bit of disad for MEELO, but very, very negligible, as Tiny was just kind of playing for their life that entire mid. So now, again, back in the same driver's seat where they were before. It's going to be so major. Corby in on last is going to be looking for the force, and they do get it. Corby gets the force really, really early on to Idare. And now, again, it's just so scary. It's so scary for MEELO. You've been in this spot 3 times before, and they're going to be banking on the sniper, actually, to try to get something done, or a look kill, or maybe a drop on the medic, but it's so dire now if you're them.
Yeah, I mean, you're banking on this sniper. Your gun isn't even fully built. It's not in the proper spot to deny, you know, a kind of high bomb. I mean, if they wanted to fade right, then maybe, you know, it might do something. It really, you know, this is like the hyper defensive, I guess. You know, it's not there to stuff lower, but the Uber does come out from the side of Glorious as Moose tries to bomb forward. Does get juggled by the sentry, though. It does get taken down very early as Glorious just takes full control over the right side. Does look like one gonna get taken down here. They are focusing down the Putis very hard. Kibe gonna get taken down here very, very soon, and yes, he will. Shine finally finds that pick onto him, but it's 3 players down on either side. It's just Tiny fighting for the point. Yara trying to fight it, but the sloppy from Tiny takes them down. The head finds another. The Solemn Vow claims another victim, and that's going to be Glorious, making it 4-0 on the first map of the series. Not over yet, though. Still definitely winnable if MEELO just, you know, they lock in here. I think something that was detrimental for their last mid is they were all kind of all over the place. They were all shooting different targets. So if they can, you know, work more as a unit, I think these mids will start turning out in their favor, but they've really got to make something happen very soon as Cormy finds that pick onto Stranger.
Oh
what a
my
beautiful
God.
play. But it does look like Tiny's getting rushed down by Kibe.
Did you get Tiny?
They find it just barely, almost able to irk that out, but doesn't look like
They don't want that happen though. Idare is taken so low, and they're just gonna dog him down to the ends of the earth. They're like, "You're gonna kill Tiny? Okay, we're gonna run all the way to your fucking land and just find Tiny in the tiniest corner." Not Tiny. Find Idare just running for their life. And we're just going to take that from you. It doesn't matter if you kill our medic. We're going to find yours in turn. I believe that was also Tiny's first death this entire map.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's just insane that the first time that they're actually able to get Tiny, they're just going to get punished this hard for it. It is insane.
I mean, no perfect log, but also at the same time, you only die once. It's not even a drop as well. Like, you die on the mid. That's kind of, you know, it's expected. You're probably going to die on the mid. You know, I feel like MEELO has adapted. They've just adapted very slowly. But that said, looks like Cormy's going to be able to find Stranger. Kibe trading them out in Africa. Doesn't look like
Kibe's going for more.
Push, though.
Oh my, Kibe actually went huge there, finding a little 2-pick for himself.
Ooh, and now the rest of MEELO is rotating into yard. They're posturing themselves to try and fight this. I mean, they do have full Uber ad. Well, not full, about 30% here. But this looks like one going to be taking a lot of space and getting a lot of damage as well. Almost killing pretty much everybody in that combo. I think the only person that was kind of, you know, still healthy was Moose. So now in a plot twist, we've actually got Glorious holding their last here. I think for the first time this game. So hopefully, you know, for the MEELO fans, they'll be able to turn this around and make something happen. Maybe get a round on the board. I will have to check whose map pick was what, but you know, this is looking like a Glorious map pick right now. Oh, apparently this is MEELO's map pick. So
what? Okay, wow, that's that's a little scary right there, right now for them. I mean, This has been so dire for them. I can't imagine what this next map is going to look like if this ends up being a 5-0, but they have to make something work right now. It's going to be Stranger bombing it, getting immediately jumped away from that gun. It's going to be Moose finding a kill on the overzealous Gyra, and then Cormy going in massive and dropping Idare. I can't believe this, man. Idare has not had a chance in this entire match. It's been so dire for them. Only saving grace is maybe going to be some sort of force coming in now. It's going to be Uno in that lower side looking for the bomb. Stranger coming in looking for massive rockets. He's going to get a bunch of damage, but not anything down. Moose taking down to such low HP is actually going to be able to find him, but Tiny's still alive during all of this is right now, and he's going to be courted out by Minaj into the lobby area, but they're not going to want to play this slow at all. They're going to walk back into second, take their aggression with them. Cormy trying to walk up through the cheese area is going to get dogged down by Gyro, who's looking forward right now for any sort of aggression. They get the second point. Bo's coming out, saving from both sides, and the Uber popped out extremely early from the low. Tiny is going to find Kira in all of this with Minaj, but not going to be able to find much more, so probably going to be some sort of a flip-flop, leapfrog situation here where they're sort of playing to lead while trying to build this Uber up, but now this is the time to show it. If you guys have a good Uber to show us, MEELO, you have to do it now. You have to make some sort of rounds happen ASAP on this map because it's looked very awful for you trying to keep Idare alive.
Absolutely. I mean, getting that force there onto Tiny is absolutely crucial. And it does look like one here is going to try and take Pipe away. Sniper does get spotted in cheese as Minaj is now forced away. So they have pretty much this entire logs area just open for the taking. And Glorious just completely backs out. But Minaj finds Stranger. A very nice shot coming out. So now it's going to be MEELO pushing in to Glorious last with Uber. They use so early, though, and now Glorious explodes out of the right side of their spawn. They manage to force the grand majority of MEELO off the point now, and all of their players are weak. It's just Gyara by the truck. It does get taken down, does find Cormy for their troubles, but two players die for what is essentially nothing. I mean, you put them on their last, but now they have full Uber ad compared to you. About 50% now, but I mean, that's still essentially full. And they're not even going to wait for their spawner. They're just going to take second because they know they can. They don't have to wait for anything. They don't have to wait for their player. They can confidently just walk forward and take that point away. And
one thing I'm waiting for right now is a spy and lower. Decloaking behind Tiny, going to be going for the stab, has to walk such a long distance. It's just trailing behind this medic. Is not going to get the stab by the time the Uber is used. So sort of a useless spy behind. They're going to take the Uber exchange, actually. So a bit of a better Uber now for MEELO. They're going to have to get some kills really early on. Going to try to find Tiny, but Tiny, able to escape, is going to get butter knife down by Stranger. So that's 2 kills now for Tiny. Actually a major wipe right now, and they're able to find so many more combat kills on that side, but except for Minaj, who is still dueling out right now, finding a bunch of kills. I believe in 2 kills now in the super exchange. Is can actually be living himself, so major find for him, and Idare is able to be taken down in that Uber exchange. So not the best situation for what looked like a way better Uber for the side of MEELO. But still, they do have control of this midpoint, so we'll have to see what they want to do here to try to break into the second. Hopefully, you're just trying not to get too angry, too aggravated by the fact that you have 4 rounds down. Just try to take this stupid simple, really try to just figure something out nice and safe. I'm not sure if that's the case, though, right now, as there is still the spy out right now on Stranger. So I guess just banking off of this sort of cheese play, this sort of gimmick play, not expecting the spy two times in a row. You know, they would never expect it 2 times in a row. Who would?
Yeah. No one would expect the handsome man to be lurking in their back line 2 times in a row. They wouldn't expect the second medic butter knife. You know what I mean? But it does look like Stranger's fully committed to this. Does look like he gets spotted. He got hit by 1 pellet, and immediately they smell blood. He does decloak. He tries to walk in, doesn't quite find Tiny. Tiny's living with 20 health.
Almost got butter knife down again. That would have been absolutely insane for the drop, but is able to live with that butter knife, and almost looked like it was going to be a backstab too, just from Tiny not looking in the right direction. But now 2 major picks. That's going to be Stranger down along with the soldiers. So now it's all up to Glorious to figure out what they want to do to break into this mid. They already have Cormy and bombing it deep, getting that force out early. It's going to be Moose who dropped with no medic to support them and no scout as well. So it's going to be Tiny and both the scouts just chilling in this sort of lobby area. Fine with the outcome, right? I mean, you have this Uber ad now. You obviously don't have the players to contest the second, but you're still kind of content if you are on the side of Glorious, right? I mean, that could have gone as good as you could have hoped, outside of just losing a lot of the other combat players in that sort of force attempt. But still, not too bad for them as we are ticking down on this time. Only 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining until we hit banning time with a 4-0 round advantage for the side of Glorious. So that can't be understated right now.
Yeah, and as we're saying, this stranger is on the edge bug on bats here, so we might be seeing a little bit of a. Oh, why do you have to drop as soon as I mentioned it? Come on now,
Oh,
come
man.
on. Unfortunate, but maybe we'll watch them go back up there sometime soon. Does look like one is going to be peeking through lower. Ubers have equalized here, so you know, as long as Glorious plays around this correctly, they can make pretty much anything happen. I mean, they could choose to just give the round if they decide, you know, maybe it's better to just let it reset and fight for mid again. You know, we can afford to lose a round. It's not like it really matters. I mean, if they lose this round, they can just, you know, try the same stuff they've been trying every mid. Does look like one is trying to spot for that gun, and they do find it. They know it's in the banning spot, but they're not quite able to land any spam off on it. And they're just. I mean, this is an impenetrable fortress right
No
now.
way. The
So
gun is in the banning spot? Who could have predicted this?
who would have thought?
Who would have thought of this? I don't know.
Fascinating, really.
Crazy innovative gameplay seeing from these two teams right now, just going completely off the normal game plan right now.
Super off meta here.
And guess what? There's a sniper? What?
Shocking revelation.
Daring even.
Daring.
They do get the gun. That's going to be really nice focus fire from both the soldiers. So getting that gun down, we would hope to see some sort of a sack right now, but Minaj is going to find a clean headshot to sort of snuff that out as they're going to be able to have that time to get the gun back up. So settling back in here to the sort of back and forth. I mean, we've never seen anything like this before on Snakewater last, where they go for the gun, they get killed by a sniper, and then we're just chilling for another minute and a half. You know, so nothing we've ever really expected before from both of these teams. But yeah, jokes aside, it's still up to MEELO to actually break into this last. They have not had one last attempt that even looked good for them going into it conceptually. So I'd love to see them to break something open in terms of like a pick from the sniper. It's going to be up to Gyara right now to get some sort of pick early. They have the left side all the wide open right now, but going to be spammed away early on from that soldier. And now we're in banning time, right? I mean, this is sudden death now. It doesn't really matter anyways, as, you know, we're 4-0, but still just shows how long this match has been going. Cormier is going to find Stranger early on, though, so again, slowing down. People really don't want to sack when you're down a player, especially down two players. Kibe going to be taken down as well in this, so oh man, it is just scary right now. And Kiara gonna find Cormy going for that sort of overzealous early counter sack out, right? I mean, you get told as a soldier, when you see these picks, you have to go counter sack now, but it's so hard when you're just met with 5 different people and a sniper looking at you. So content to sit here with 30 seconds remaining on the round timer ticking down. Just chilling here, and Minaj getting the pick on the SVS is going to mean that we're probably going to be seeing round reset here. I would love to see if we do.
Oh, we might just see a thug push here from the side of MEELO as they push in from the left. They find the gun, but this is a really awkward
Uber.
Massive, gargantuan Uber as they don't even get through the doorway. They rotate out to the right side, and now Stranger bombing over onto Minaj on the left. Doesn't find the pick. No one dies on the side of Glorious. It's just Kira and one dying on MEELO, and we're witnessing a round reset. What could potentially be the last mid of Snakewater, the last mid of the first map in the series.
So, I mean, like last mid, right, we saw Tiny got dogged down and got ran at by like 4 different people at once. I would love the adaptation for the side of Glorious to just be like, okay, how are we going to bait Tiny in the story and keep her out of this? While the rest of us is going and find Idare. No rocket's really going to land on Idare extremely early. The bomb is going to come out, landing on Moose and Tiny getting a 1 rocket off. only one player behind right now is going to be the soldier bombing in through Saw, looking for Moose because he can find the medic and able to get it. Probably looking for more, but Tiny already just holding W all the way out to spawn right now. It's going to be living. They do get Idare on this mid. People still duking it out though. Super
Way
late. It's going
too
to be
greedy.
Minaj and Cormy looking for more. And oh my, the soldier lives there? That's insane. Cormy's still living behind as well too, so just completely scattered combat classes, just looking for anything they can get. But with all the space that they made, it's going to mean that Tiny and Minaj and the Pocket Scout are going to be able to make their way back onto mid for free, pretty much, right? I mean, they were all looking around for all of these players just running around behind. So now that even though that they technically lost the mid with players still being on mid, they're able to keep themselves alive for long enough that they're able to take that mid back and just push us into second right now. So that's exactly what I wanted to see from Glorious, right? Just keeping Tiny alive, really kiting out, and then pushing back in with this sort of aggression. So they're back in the driver's seat right now. They do have ad to work with right now, but they have to take it quick if they want to do something.
Oh, look at
Not
this.
really
Shine is just in, getting so
so
much
in.
value, so much info, so much space. You love to see it.
A
You love to
space
see
may
it.
does not show on the logs, as they say, but now trying to walk in
Exactly.
somewhat dry early. Minaj actually by this spawn is going to get two rocketed.
Oh
Oh, it's
no.
tragic. I like the attempt though, but like that's really hard to make anything work there, especially when you're met with a soldier coming out of spawn.
Oh,
And there's another pick as well. So
this is a
uh,
bit of a crumble.
yeah, a little bit of a crumble. We'll have to see if they actually do crumble. I mean, Moose is just establishing himself in this lobby area with Corby just with the
Ooh.
crossbear. And man, that quickie bomb launcher is such a fair weapon, just able to snipe down the soldier running away with a pickaxe. Yeah, major pick there. It's going to mean that Glorious is back in the driver's seat yet again, breathing down Milo's neck right now in terms of just holding on to this last. Um, honestly, we've only really ever seen like one time right here where it's been able to actually like fully stabilize with this gun, with this sniper, as we like to see on the Snakewater Lass. Um, so I would love to see for them to do some, or just really find some picks, push out like Glorious did to them, if you can imagine, like a few
Ooh.
rounds ago. But it's going to be Gyro finding that really nice pick onto the soldier, looking for more. It's going to be the counter strike early
One
out
finds a
from Uno.
Minaj.
Yeah, so now 2 picks. They've seen this before. They've been down 2 picks, but
Wait,
they
one
haven't
is in
feared
behind
before.
now.
Yeah, he is behind. So 1 looking for anything more. It's going to be the pressure out early from lobby, but now Cormy finding a pick, and they have 1 behind. It's a little
Oh.
scary now, right? I mean, you're going counter sec early on, but if you're not able to find anything extremely early, then it's super
Oh
scary.
my.
And that quickie bomb launcher is able to find 1. So now down 2 picks, it's going to be all coming up Glorious right now if they're going to try to work something again. Nice rocket coming
What
out.
air shot.
Holy air shot. And they're
Put
trying to
that one
focus
in
on
your
this gun. The
montage.
gun is so low, it does go down, but Moose taking down so low, so low. And back to the sort of neutral position. But Hyder does get forced out in all of this. I'm not sure from what. I believe it's from Minaj just running in off that pressure. Is able to find that force. So it's little pins and needles forcing their way into any sort of event that they can find for the side of Glorious, and they have a full Uber ad to work with all their players spawning right now, rolling out. They're going to be trying to be taking some sort of a push here to try to seal this map right now because they do not want to stay up too late themselves, I can imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine they don't want to spend, most of their night on Snake Water, especially since it is the first map of what it could potentially be a 3-map series. But it does look like Glorious here going to be Ubering in through right shutter, getting a lot of cap time, a lot of value here. The Soldier Bomb does finally come through. It's just Stranger on top of the point, 19 HP here. 1 rocket could do him in. All the players are dying on the side of MEELO. No one's alive to defend the point really here anymore. There's no heals. It is Jello, the last man standing, basically single-handedly capping the point here. And now it's Tiny walking forward, and they finally cap the point.
Wow.
5-0
5-0.
5-0 in favor of Glorious here on MEELO's map pick, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of this map alone, I feel like the highlights is obviously just the macro that's coming out from Glorious right now. They're super adept. I mean, that does happen when you have main winning players back in main again, calling these teams. Not to throw any shade, but come on, man. Um, but yeah, I mean, the macro coming out from them has been major. the space that has been made and just the distraction plays as well coming in from Cormi, just super important. On the mids early on, just sort of single-handedly won those mids for the rest of Glorious. And then on top of that as well, just in those later mids where they weren't really getting med kills or anything like that, they were still just being alive for so long, and just making space for the rest of their team to not be focused down. Tiny having such an amazing log that entire game, dropping such little deaths right now. Pulling up these logs right now, I too just want to take a little
Yeah.
peek see at these deaths right now. It's got to be insane. The med differential here. So 2 deaths to 9 deaths on the medic.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what you expect to see. What just
Well,
from
actually,
what we
I think
saw.
it's 2 to 12. Actually, I
2
think
to
there's an
12.
extra
Oh, 2 to
3.
12. Oh my, those didn't update for me. Yeah.
That's I mean, you hate to see it, really. I mean,
Yeah, it's rough, man, especially
that
as the
was a rough
ringer.
game for Idair. I think they just got focused down really hard a lot of the time. I do think that, if they probably did, if they weren't just like shot at all the time and everyone and their grandma had bloodlust out for Idair, they could probably get a little bit more done. But unfortunately, this was not the game for them, and they ended up getting taken down to Pain Town, unfortunately. Um,
Yeah. I
filtering
don't
by
really want to
DPM
pin
though.
it. I don't want to pin it too hard on Idare, just to defend them a little bit. It really didn't feel like MEELO really had the contingency plan to defend him
Yeah.
on a lot of fronts, right? I mean, like they were doing the thing where, okay, they're going to jump for our medic and we're going to go forward and try to find something. But if you're just conceding your medic every single mid, then it's just going to be a net negative for you overall. And just looking at these logs as well, we see Moose almost dropping 300 DPM on Snakewater, which is impressive in its own right. Just showing that you can just dish out this damage super hard. Um, yeah, it's crazy to see that you can just dish out this much damage with throughout all of those stalemates. Maybe just a quickie bomb launcher being a little bit busted. Who knows?
Quickie bomb launcher is the new lock and load. But I do think this is going to take us to a short little break here.
Yep,
We will be back relatively quickly. We're not gonna leave you for too long. Pinky promise.
pinky
But
promise. Going into Bagel. We'll be right back. Probably
yep.
less than a minute into, and yeah, this will be some fun action on Cough. Lots of DM coming up.
The fears become so blatantly apparent. I can see it in your eyes. You've become so blatantly transparent, believing all the lies. Do you think you're helping humankind as you leave them all behind? Your hair is buzz cut, nervous with an anxious gut. They're pushing you in line. Your mind is closed shut, treated like a mutt. Will you realize sometime? Does it give yourself some sort of pride for your insecure mind? How could you be so lost? You don't even know the cost.
All right, and we are back. Sorry for a little bit of breaks here. We're just having a little bit of technical issues on our side, but going into this now, it's really scary if you're on the side of MEELO. This is not your map pick, right? I mean, Glorious, a fast DA,
Uh-oh.
have
I
some
think
sort of like
our
major upset here.
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know if the stream picked up half of what you said because unfortunately You did start Megatroning halfway through.
Uh-oh.
So I think the technical issues persist. But I mean, maybe you can try and restate it, but I don't know. I think we're going to have to move on back over to Discord.
All right, and we're back.
All right.
Fully back now. We have MEELO readying up. I mean, it's either just like, okay, we want to get this over with, or let's just not let them ice us out. We've had our DM warm up. We've seen the shit that's happened to us. But still, it's got to be so scary if you're on the side of MEELO. You have such an amazing season leading up to this point, and now just really put in the blender in terms of game plan going on. But now on Bagel, it's going to be a little bit of a flip flop from the game plans that we saw. Obviously, Snakewater and Bagel could not be two more opposite maps just in terms of game plans going into these mids. Really trying to look at what happens here in terms of shoves on these houses or in terms of the point presence and capture rates as well. If either team is going to really be prioritizing just capping on this point early and not really shoving the houses and trying to get their aggression going that way. But yeah, going into this first mid, what are you looking at?
I mean, I'm not sure what to look at here, really. I don't know if we can really rely on the demo cam as much as we used to, because I'm pretty sure Moose here is still running quickies. So it does, it might seem like a slight adjustment to the playstyle, but having 4 or less really changes the way you have to go about things. Minaj does find Gira very early on, and Moose finds Kipe very early on as well, and that's just going to be Glorious, able to take down as much time as they please. One almost getting caught out here as well, as Shine finds a late pick on a Stranger. That's a 12-second respawn clock that they now have to watch. And MEELO's going to be pushing out in through yard here as one tries to bomb forward onto wood. Now Cormy finding Kibe as well. Not a single player on Glorious.
Oh my god!
My goodness, forget what I was saying. I was about to say not a single player on Glorious has died just yet, but now Cormy getting put into the frag montage.
In the folder.
Yeah, that one's getting bookmarked. I can't even say that anymore. PREC doesn't work. You can't bookmark anymore. Oh no.
Welcome to my shadow play, dumb buddy. But yeah, I mean, now able to work their way back up into the point right now. It's going to be the Glorious using the Uber aggressively, trying to whittle off more time. They do exchange out this Uber. Trying to run away through this left house here is going to be the rest of Glorious. And they're not going to lose anybody in that back, but that is the thing about using this Uber aggressively on point while you do have it. It means that you gain about 10 to 15 seconds while this is happening. Only major sticking point right now is Cormy in the main area. Is going to get found out by the scout, but Kibe goes down. Cormy looking for more as the rest of Glorious looking forward right now. Cormy still behind, is going to be looking for the alone eye dare, is actually going to find it! Major pick right there. So major, and then just the Kobe sticky across the map right there from Moose. Going to clean up another player as well, so amazing value just from that one soldier. And now, minute left on the round timer. It's just going to be all coming up.
Do they know
Glorious.
about one behind them?
I think they do. They definitely do now.
Well, they definitely do now, yeah. I mean, one kind of gave themselves away there, so Jello is able to find that pick onto him. We haven't seen the point flip into MEELO's hands just yet, but we might be seeing that change as they get about halfway on that cap. Now about 3/4 of the way. It is going to be a nice bomb coming out from Cormy here as they get a lot of space and a lot of damage out for the rest of their team to come and mop up some kills. It does look like Glorious still holding on to that point very heavy-handedly, as only 36 seconds and counting left on the clock for them to really take this one home. And it looks like MEELO finally deciding they want to fight over that point, but they haven't capped it just yet. Looks like the Uber is going to come out from Tiny as they walk up in through main, now trying to take it right into their face, and Minaj finds eye dare, taking them down, and now they're just going to walk right on out back into yard, now onto wood, just retreating through that house as if that fight never even happened. The point does switch hands here as one gets absolutely obliterated by Moose here, and now it's just it's open season for Glorious to walk back on out and take that point away again. I mean, there's nothing that MEELO can really do to stop them here, as their beam just came up. They just got their heals. It is pretty heavy Uber disad right now, so there's not a whole lot they can do.
They're not really looking for Moose being a little bit overextended right now, but it is so difficult to find any one of these players, as they're all just playing as such a unit right now, just really absorbing the pressure from one another. It's going to be actually MEELO flipping the point back, but not for long, as IDARE is dead, so it's going to leave all the space in the world for the rest of Glorious to work their way back onto the point right now, just trying to be very careful as they do so, but they're going to be killing it with one on point, and that is 1 round now for the side of Glorious.
That is 1 of 4 indeed. Very dominant round, to say the absolute least. I mean, they held on to that point for 2.5 minutes and then some before MEELO could even, you know, put their little toesies on the point. You know, there was nothing that MEELO could have done earlier in that game to really make anything happen. So hopefully we'll see a little strategy shift come out from MEELO. Maybe they play around Moose more, try and bait out those stickies, force him to use more ammo. But right off the bat, Jello is going to find Kibe here, and Cormi is going to find one. But Gara does trade out with Minaj, so it's not all doom and gloom. You know, you are still down 1 player, but you can make this work as long as you play around IDARE well enough. Now it's going to be Cormi trying to get that bomb. Doesn't quite find the damage necessary to make a lot of space, but just gets in from behind and finds Kibe again. Gara going to trade them out, though. So even players, even Ubers. Interesting scenario unfolding right here as one comes in from behind, does get a nice bomb, but doesn't land onto the beam. A little bit of a mixed target priority, I feel, as Minaj finds that pick onto him. And now all Glorious has to do, really, is just wait for their players before they try and take anything aggro. Unless MEELO wants to just charge on in and take the Uber into them.
Not owning the point? I don't love that conceptually, and it's going to be Cormi now looking for any sort of major kills right now with the scout focusing down, but Stranger in behind is actually going to find Tiny, so that's a very nice opening to find, as the rest of Glorious is just looking forward to with their better Uber exchange for anything they could get. They're not going to find IDARE, and they're all going to be falling in turn, sort of just trying to turn this into some sort of a 4-man situation while they know the point is going to be flipped back in their favor. It's going to be Cormi and Stranger dueling in spawn, going to be one coming in behind looking for anything else, but Cormi being a little bit of a mosquito right now in the back line is going to be the rest of Glorious just in their spawn, building up this Uber, trying to work the way out to the left side now. Cormi finally going to fall in all of that. But a nice trap kill from Kira is going to find Moose in that left side, and they're probably going to find the player in the left side as well. It's going to be Shine looking for anything. Is actually going to get out, stay alive, looking for that nice air shot on the medic. Is not going to connect it, but still a little bit better than what you could have asked for on the 6. This is such a oh my god. Are you kidding
finds
me?
that crucial drop for
Are
Glorious
you kidding
here.
me? It's so sad, bro, to be a MEELO fan.
Yeah, this is rough. This is really rough for MEELO fans across the globe, as we're watching a rather unfortunate series of events unfold, as now Glorious is walking up through yard with that full Uber ad, looking to walk in through Red House now, or sorry, Blue House rather, as they walk straight into that concrete looking for any picks. Minaj getting a little baited early on there, but they do find IDARE very early into that Uber. They also find Kira very late into that Uber as well. Jello gonna find one as well, or sorry, not one, gonna find Stranger, and Shine is gonna find one. And man, that was just brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily for MEELO, they ticked off a lot more time total than they did the entirety of the previous round. So they have that going for them. They do have a lot more time to play with.
They find Moose early through that lower side too, so actually able to work their way in, but not if Cormi has anything to say about it. Going to be going for that super high bomb, landing on IDARE. Also going to find Gyra in the back, still being behind right now, so it's going to be the rest of blue team making this into a 4-man stack, but a bad 4-man at the at that, just stacking themselves a good amount right now. Going to be one looking for Tiny, but immediately focused down by 3 separate players, so this could not be going worse for MEELO right now if you're just trying to make your way into the point safely. It's just problem after problem for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a rough set of circumstances for MEELO right now. I mean, you're fighting up against a very DM heavy team. These guys are very, very good at their DM. I mean, they're all MGE
They're hitting their air shots, you know. They're hitting their bombs.
I mean, yeah, they're hitting their rockets. They put in the effort. They put in that practice.
These scouts too, man. They're clinical, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, these scouts are they're surgical with it, man. They'll get in there and they'll take out whatever they want. I mean, they don't give a damn. They'll just get in there and they'll pick out what they want. They'll put it to the side. They'll cut it to pieces. They'll inhale it. I mean, it's looking brutal for the side of MEELO right now as 20 seconds are left on the clock. Now the Uber does come out from the side of MEELO as they walk over the point. The counter pop does come out from the side of Glorious here, though, as Moose tries to find some damage, but it's only the shiny people out in front as no players are alive to contest the point. It is just IDare trying to peek out and get as much damage out as they can. It's the least they can do, but unfortunately for the side of MEELO, that is going to be the second round in favor of Glorious here. Only 2 rounds left before we see if Glorious, well, I mean a minimum of 2 rounds left, rather, before we see if Glorious takes home the semifinals.
Yeah, definitely, and this is going to put them in such good contention for the rest of this playoffs right now. Just being a semifinals match and almost looking like a cakewalk for them, but really just got to keep it consistent right now. They're doing such an amazing job just absorbing pressure and dishing it out themselves in turn. Their pressure and aggression just looks so much better and so much more clinical and well practiced than anything that MEELO has shown us tonight. A little bit of trade coming out, going to be you know, Shine and
Shine and
Stranger
Stranger
going down.
I think,
yeah, and then Cormy getting that pick as well is going to be super, super good for the rest of Glorious to work their way into the point. They're going to be starting this cap time early. It's going to be super, super hard for anybody to contest. It's going to be Gyra running forward. They're going to be using the Uber extremely early in the face of Tiny, who's going to take a way better Uber exchange. They do not have the point cap, so no time being taken down, but this Uber is so much better for them. As long as Minaj lives here, it's going to be super scary, but Gyra is actually going to focus that down, so nice pick to have. They do get the cap time on the side of Glorious, but yeah, it's so hard, man. If you're MEELO, every single chance that you try to go forward, you're just losing so many players on the back half of it. It's like every single time that something goes so good for you, there's 2 bad things happening to you at the same time.
Absolutely. And I don't want to make it sound like we're just bashing on MEELO here. I do think they are adapting a lot better.
But they're getting bashed, man.
Yeah, but they're getting clobbered here by Glorious. I mean, Cormy here with that 3K is able to find I believe that was Kira and 1 in pretty rapid succession here. It is even players, all things, it's actually player ad for the side of MEELO here, but they do have to wait for those players to get there before they can make anything happen, but it doesn't look like they care as Gyra is able to walk through Red House and take down Jello. Minaj is going to trade him out there, so it is a scout for scout. Not the craziest thing ever, but this could be a pretty big momentum shift if you are on the side of MEELO. It does look like the Ubers are going to be popped out at about the same time. 1 almost caught out and dying there, but Ubers are now faded. Neither team has that glorious shiny buff, and looks like Glorious is just going to play a little bit further back here. They're trying to maybe bait in a little bit of some of those MEELO players and get some free kills. They are going to let that point flip as Cormy gets a lot of damage off onto the point. Moose now waddling forward, trying to find any damage with these quickies, but it does look like players are just avoiding them well enough. Tiny does die here to a nice pipe from Kira. So Glorious here now in salvage mode as they go in for that 4-man, and oh my goodness, Moose! Moose is able to go in single-handedly and land 2 nice quickies onto IDare and is able to make it worth the trouble for his team. And MEELO still hasn't capped the point yet.
This Moose guy freaking hates the pipes, dude. This guy would rather just bomb him with the sticky launcher every single time. And it's worked for him in both of these maps now. Just be able to find these salvages, able to find these super deep bombs in. So now gonna be a 1.5 minute time ad for the side of Glorious. They're working their way back onto the point now, sort of even Ubers. Keep A down extremely early from that nice pick from the soldier. Going to be Moose bombing it extremely early, followed by Cormy, looking for every bit of salvage right now. Going to be dueling Stranger in the lower side. Is not able to find anything, but able to actually look themselves. still such a good point flip back for them, and they're just dueling in their enemy team's lower right now. Jello Jiggler just coming up massive right now in the main area, able to get away himself. So massive for the rest of this team right now, as everything that they do just seems to be working out and seems to be correct just from the results-based analysis that I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just based off the time alone, MEELO has to play pretty much a perfect game. I mean, there's 30 seconds left on the clock and counting for the side of Glorious here. As now the Uber does come out from the side of iDare. Tiny does pop a little bit earlier, so it is a little disadvantageous for them, but I don't think they really care about that as they're able to just back out for free. I think that was just an Uber to get the other team's Uber. They are playing for a good cap time on the side of MEELO here, about halfway. All they've got to do is play around this. They might be able to flip that point and hold it for just a little bit longer, but it doesn't look like they're able to find any kills and convert anything. Moose is just getting so much value by spamming from that left lane. Now all they have to do is hold the point a little bit longer. Kira and Stranger are able to find Minaj, and now Moose falls in rapid succession. Cormy's able to find one, but Glorious not quite able to fight out yet.
Yeah, and I mean, the collapse there was great from MEELO. I don't want to discount that, but they're in such a tight spot right now where they have to play good for 2 whole minutes straight, and they haven't gotten in a position where they're actually doing some sort of like a forward hold or even holding dominantly on this point. They're just having to play on their side right now, and at least the rest of Glorious to work their way back into play right now. 2 players fighting in the right side is going to be Jello Jiggler and Cormy going for that duel, but going to be taken down by Kibe. Ubers are popped out from both sides right now, so iDare's Uber is looking a lot better, but Tiny's not going to get taken down in this post. He doesn't look like. So just sort of just chilling on their side. They do have 1 pick to work with and a little bit of better spawn time right now. That is going to be Shine taken down, I believe, and oh man, it is still just with every single pick that you get, it is such a hard loss for the rest of MEELO right now. They are able to hold this down for just a bit longer, whittling down another 40 seconds off that 2 minutes that they had remaining when they did cap the point. But now, still dire straits to them. They've played perfect now for this good minute, but they have to do it again. They're gonna have to take this Uber aggressively, find some sort of space right here, and actually just shut out the rest of Glorious.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, Stranger finding a nice pick onto Shine there with the Rockets to boot, but now Cormy in, getting that pick onto iDare. One gonna trade out Cormy. Minaj going down to 1 as well. It is a 3-man trade for the Beam, but if you're playing Glorious right here, this is, I mean, pretty much all you can ask for. It is, I mean, you got 40 seconds worth of time. All you got to do is walk forward with this Uber at this point, and you've basically secured yourself the 3rd round, and you make it match point. You scare MEELO, essentially. You force them to take unnecessary risks in that final round and potentially cause them a much larger margin of loss than previously thought. Makibe pulls up on Pudis, walking forward, fat Russian man trying to take that point, but it doesn't matter as there's not enough bodies there fast enough. I'm not sure if coming up Pudis was the play, but maybe they just decided, oh, we'll give them this round and we'll come back next round. Because I mean, MEELO is showing that they're able to hold. They're able to hold against Glorious. It's not completely one-sided. They just have to find themselves that positioning in the first place that I think is really the detriment that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, definitely. And with that as well, like, you really have to figure out these early and mids as well. And it's just, they're losing so much base to this right house aggression. And again, Jello Jiggler, Cormy working their way through this right side, shoving out the soldier on that right side, who's just sort of on an island himself, but kind of breaking open this mid early on. We'll have to see what sort of picks come out early on, as we have seen a lot of picks just come back and forth right now in these early mids, but sort of working out for Glorious in the prior rounds. Not a lot of picks coming out super early now, so it's sort of coming down to this cap time war. It's going to be the rest of Glorious able to get this cap with 0 players dying on either side. Means that now the Uber coming out, they're going to find Moose with it extremely early on, as Tiny is not able to get that Uber beam onto him, but it's still not the best thing that you can hope for. You would love to use this Uber when you have this point under your control so they can't be denied, but the second they walk into the point, it's going to be Corby jumping in super late, looking for iDare. Going to be cleaned up by Minaj, and Minaj actually, I believe, gets a 2-for-1 with 1 shot off of the scatter gun. Super sick to see that collide shot coming up from the scout. Going to be dueling Kira now in the lower area, trying to find a little bit more. Oh, nice pipe from Kira. But man, it is just so hard right now if you're iDare in these situations right now. You are just being dogged down to the ends of the earth right now from everybody on the side of Glorious.
You're just getting dogpiled on, man. Like there's
Mhm.
nothing you can do. Yeah, I mean there is stuff you can do, but you're
There
getting
might be.
dogpiled. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's just they Glorious sees blood, and the blood is the medic, and they want that kill.
Logai could surf that
What
though.
in the world? One just comes in through main uncontested and finds a pick onto Moose. Now Kira going to find a nice pipe onto Shine as well. And looks like they're going to be forward holding Glorious here maybe. Well, not forward holding, but actually they probably could forward hold here. They're probably going to get Uber in time to actually establish a forward hold. But maybe not.
Somewhat of a forward hold, but not going to give up. Going to be pretty much giving up this left side completely. I guess the forward hold is, as we all learned it from the Vanny videos, is kind of fallen out of favor just in terms of getting these traps down. More playing on this point, just sort of resuming to take this Uber exchange. It's going to be a lot better for the side of MEELO actually with this Uber, as they are taking down the time as they do take this Uber. So looks good for them right now. No picks really coming down on either side. It's going to be one actually with Kibe stuffing out this left side, looking for anything onto Tiny. Tiny taking down super low is going to be focused down from Gyaro. This is coming up all MEELO right now, actually. It's looking amazing from them on this counter aggression.
Yeah, MEELO here has really turned this, at least this round, they've turned it around completely. This is a total 180. I mean, we didn't see this aggression coming from them earlier. We didn't see this kind of, coordination. They're playing a lot more homogenous than we were seeing beforehand. They're just a unit now. And I think that's something we saw them lacking on Snakewater. And I think they noticed. I think they heard us talking about it maybe, and they kind of realized like, hey, if these guys are noticing it, it's really gonna be an issue. But oh my goodness, Shine finding that. I believe that's what Uber is that? I can't even read it. It's 96% Uber.
So close.
I dare
So
dies
close.
at. And I mean, Tiny just surviving with that Uber here. Now Glorious, all they've got to do is, I mean, they don't really have to play perfect. They have a lot of time to make things work. But I mean, Glorious here, all they've got to do is hold this point for another 30 seconds, really, and they've got themselves a sizable chunk of time at it. It does look like one going to be coming out from Redwood here, landing on top of Minaj. Not quite able to land any kills here as Kira and Kibe tried to find something. Now Stranger. Now it's going to be one coming up through main. Lands in, finds Shine just by the skin of his teeth. Doesn't even get him with his own rocket. Makes him blow himself up in that trade. So Glorious does lose one, but they don't lose that point at all. Now the time is slowly ticking down in their favor. And now we're going to be looking at a even Ubers here as looks like Glorious is going to be walking straight on in to the entirety of MEELO as they're body blocking IDare. And now, oh no, this is cyberbullying. As MEELO tries to push out Concrete, one getting in through that house, now going to that wood, but is going to be getting met by I believe this is Cormy here. A little bit of cap time coming out, so they are scaring MEELO to look at that point. Now it is probably going to flip in, or they're scaring Glorious into looking at that point. MEELO does make it swap, but I think Glorious is going to be able to immediately make it flip back as, oh my goodness, Cormy gets in from behind, finds Gyara, and now they're going to be able to find Kira as well. Jello finding that pick, Moose finding Kibe, Stranger finally finding someone. Jello is going to get taken down, but Moose is now pushing very far forward, getting a little too cocky maybe, getting a little too aggressive, a little overzealous.
But not punished.
Yeah, not punished for it at all. Almost, but not quite. And I mean,
Uber
close only
use.
counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, so I mean, you can't really make anything work here. And Glorious just pops over that point. There's a little bit of cap time on the side of MEELO. Actually, there's nobody on Glorious here to defend the point, so MEELO could flip this over and push this into another overtime like we saw from the last round, but it does look like Glorious here recognizes that possibility, and now Stranger gets a nice arrow, is going to be taken out by Cormy. It's just Moose holding this point. Is he going to be able to cap it, though? Moose is just able to cap it! IDare doesn't walk forward to try and contest it, and that's GG. That's the series as Glorious takes home a 2-0 clean sweep without dropping a single round to MEELO.
What is there to say when you're just not dropping a single round in all of that, though, right? I mean, it is really just showing the dominance of Glorious, right? I mean, there's obviously the star players that are coming out in terms of DM and all of that, but I just feel like the preparedness of Glorious is just really what's carrying them through all of these games, right? I mean, they have their game plan down pat. When the comm comes out of what the game plan needs to be, even during these rounds, it is just followed to a T, and everybody is working together like an extremely well-oiled machine. I can really find very few faults in their own gameplay overall. So yeah, just amazing to see from them, and a great dub now through the semifinals, going to be bringing them into the last part of this bracket.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what Glorious has to offer for the final part of this bracket. I mean, it's hard to say, how this will pan out. It does look like they're going to be moving forward to fight either Clear Comms, Please, or Six Man Callers. I don't know who's won that yet. I don't know if their scores have been reported or anything. So time will tell. But hopefully, whatever happens there, those matches will be interesting to say the very least. But I mean, just big props to Glorious here for putting up a GG10 basically. I mean,
Yeah,
just looking at those bagel logs, Cormy with almost 400 DPM has 24 kills. I mean, what is there to say, really?
not much really. Nar, nar.
But
But
I
yeah,
mean,
I mean, yeah, this is. It'll be really, really exciting to see what they have in their next match overall. I feel like this wasn't the best showing of, you know, Glorious really being contested on all of this. I would love
mhm.
to see some team really just push them into a spot where they're going to have to truly adapt, as it kind of just felt like they were able to execute their game plan over and over. Um, but yeah, great games overall. Um, and congrats to Glorious to be able to make it this far in the bracket. Love to see what they have in this finals for us.
Absolutely. But I think that will do it for us here tonight. Uh,
I
oh
think I'm
well,
going to be swapping out actually
yeah,
for a second
maybe.
map right now. Yeah, I think Siyo's going to be hopping on commentary, and we have a little bit of the second half of another match going on right now. Uh, if you guys are staying tuned right now, we'll have some more TF2 action for you here after this long fireside hiatus. So, but yeah, before I hop off, it's great to be back on here casting with you, Zach. It's been a little bit of a drought in terms of casting this season, but uh, seriously, great to be back in the saddle. Hopefully, get to cast with you guys again soon. And yeah, good game to Glorious, taking it for 9-0 in terms of maps.
I mean, yeah, just GG.
GG. Alrighty, I'm going to take off for right now. Sio's going to be hopping on to commentary. I'm going to take you guys into the next match that is going on right now. Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
Server. Are we in the server,
Uh,
Zach?
I had to restart my game.
Okay, well,
I had the chat bug where the chat window just wouldn't close.
no, you're
So
good, you're good. We're gonna be casting the other, you want to stay on, right? You're okay with staying on?
um if it doesn't go to map 3, then I'm fine with it. But
Should we
like
should I
I
think we
want to
should be
try
done.
and
I think we should be done
yeah.
after this. But it's I think it's six main colors versus clear comms, please.
Yeah,
For
if it's the other main team, then yeah, if it's for sure that one.
yeah. Whenever you're in the server, I think the first map already went to six main colors, so
Mm,
that was what was it? It was Snake Water. It was Snake Water 3-2 for
I see, I
clear
see.
comms, or I mean, for six main
Uh,
callers. So we're on the second map right now, and I think clear comms please are actually up in this one. It's 2-1 right now. So whenever you're in the server, feel free to take it away.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm watching it now. It does look like, yeah, I think if clear comms is red with the lovely Windows XP, it does look like they are up 1 round here, and it's all out chaos as Sad tries to bomb in, but doesn't really find anything here. Does find a pick onto Blood, but I mean, what space does that offer? I mean, it is the demo, but you know, it is Blindsfell backing all the way.